Chapter 23. Drew, white, age 22, June 21st, 2025. It was the last day of the week, again, and I still needed an interview. I was minutes away from hopping in my car when the doorbell rang. My husband and son were content to let it ring, and maybe I would have been too. But hey, I still had to interview somebody, so I ran to the door. I opened it to find Drew. Nearby was one of those fast-moving electric scooters or skateboards, the kind I've long suspected would leave me flat on my face if I ever attempted to ride one. I'm sure I was the most friendly person Drew had encountered that day. He was selling pest control, and full disclosure, we actually were in the market, so this had the potential to be a win-win. After I allowed Drew to present his sales pitch, I turned the tables and asked if he'd be willing to do an interview with me. He didn't pause. Sure, he was 22. From Greensville, South Carolina. When I asked how he got to Jacksonville, he said, I was in Charleston selling pest control door to door. My regional manager came to visit our team, and he saw a lot of growth and potential in me, so he moved me out here under his wing so he could personally train me and mentor me. He described it like a summer internship. He said he's staying in Jacksonville for the entire summer, and then he'll go back to school. I'm going into my second semester at Clemson. I was playing Division II soccer at Newberry College, but I tore my ACL in August, so now I'm at Clemson. His major? Packaging science. He wants to have a career in sales. I told him I could not imagine anyone choosing to knock on doors. He answered simply, I did it because I wanted to put myself in uncomfortable situations. I want to start out with the hardest sales job. He believed wholeheartedly in his potential. He lives in an Airbnb with other students, 4 to be exact. Not ideal, he admitted, but manageable. And then he added the real bonus. I'm paying off half my tuition for the year this summer. In 10 years, he sees himself in packaging sales or medical device sales. I asked if he'd own the company. Eventually, he said with a determined smile. When I asked where his confidence came from, he spoke of his uncle. He's a financial advisor, owns like 51% of the shares in his company. Just seeing the way he lives, you work your butt off to live the life you want to live. I told him about an interview I saw with Michael B. Jordan from the Creed franchise, how he said he'd rest later. Right now he's grinding. Drew got it immediately. Yeah, exactly. I look up to Kobe Bryant. I look up to David Goggins. All those guys that just have their heads on so tight and they're so stuck on their goals and whatnot. I was curious if he had a girlfriend. He does. She's like the first girl I've ever been in a relationship with where I actually do see a future with her. She has an internship with United Health in Miami right now. It's one of the best internships in the country. Like, I'm super proud of her. They started dating in November. She's also a student at Clemson. He said at school they were like in the honeymoon stage, so now this summer of separation will be the real test. When I asked what he was most afraid of, his answer didn't center around his girlfriend. There are 2 things I really do fear. One is just being average, and then God. That's it. There's nothing else to be afraid of, except for bugs. He said that referencing his company's material. It was spot on. I laughed out loud. We both did. And I promised Drew I would look into the company. I told him to stop back on his way out. Unfortunately, the company didn't hold up under research. And when he returned, I told him the reasons why. He pushed. Believe me when I tell you, Drew is in the right profession. But he wasn't rude or overbearing. I wished him well, and I meant it. What rose to the top for me was that even when someone shows up uninvited, they still can be seen. Probably not interviewed, but noticed. A moment of pause and unexpected kindness. Because sometimes, even when the sales pitch doesn't land, the humanity does. Long after the door closes. This is truth, and truth always rises.